absurdly chaotic finish and conclusion to the previous arc, I guess, that we had, encounter that we had, leaving us in a completely embarrassed state, essentially, within our school. Not a great place to be in, but it could be fun, I mean, for our own experience. I do wonder if this is going to make everyone kind of embarrassed in a sort of way that makes them more outcasts, basically, and now we have our main core three that kind of will spend a lot more time together as a result, or what exactly, because everybody's going to be looking at them like they're weird or crazy or whatever for what just occurred, or if we're just going to bypass that and nobody's ever going to bring attention to it regardless. But I think that they probably should and will, likely. So we'll have to see. We have a golden ball to still get, and we got to figure out where that come from. So hopefully we do figure that out. Hopefully you enjoy. If you like it all, like and subscribe to the feel free to stick around for discussion of the concepts episode of series. Go with the 10th episode of Dundadun.
いじめられてんのか？違います。
Then what was that?
隠してないでちゃんと言いな。
Why is she so aggressive? As the nurse? Alright. I'm ready to be smashed for your purpose. Thank you. Queen Sensei. The thing is, he loves it too. You know, he came in here so this could happen. That is true. You did have an image to uphold like that. Since that day, I mean, come on. Literally exactly what happened to Momo.
まあ確かにアクサラのオーラをあんたに移したわけだし、ありえるわな。でもそうなると白鳥さんも奴らに狙われる可能性が高いですよ。高倉君が私を心配してる。
I guess we know who our next one is. Who sets up a future target. 妖怪悪魔が宇宙人の侵略から地球を守ってるんですよ。I don't know about all that. 妖怪には勝てない。 ここで自分たちのような特殊な人間を襲って研究して妖怪に勝つための技術を開発しようとしてるんですよ。もしかしたら自分のなくした金玉だってすでに奪われてる可能性も。やばい、急いで見つけないと。話が壮大すぎて分かんなかった。つまり何？やばいってこと？ So is this bad or not? Nope, it wasn't even in the plot though.
そんなことよりさ。
And back to the start. Alright. It's not technically wrong, and if I put the blame on somebody else, they'll feel bad for me. Yes. Yeah, whatever. And the person that she cares about most won't see her that way, so you're good. It's not embarrassing. It's embarrassing that you were trying to hide it. Because he'd look cooler if he just was able to do things. Yeah. See, that's the... For me? You like me so much, you do things like this, alright.
も発見。オカルもいいんじゃん。でも、おい、びっくりした。いや、それうちらだから。授業中にいきなりいなくなってさ。カナから連絡来てビビったわ。T組の前でオカルと裸で抱き合って。
Yeah, explain your way out of this one.
でもどうせ理解できないし、なんかまあそうなっちゃったんだよ。雑すぎませんか。謎はすべて解けた。
Have they? Okay. Well.
あなた D 組の白鳥。
There is.
人物をご存知で？
I love how she's presenting this.
まあはい。
The way she's talking to it makes it sound like she's making it up as she's going. She's really thinking.
ということなんですね。
Mm-hmm.
そうなると、モモ、オカル、白鳥という、三角関係が見えてきます。
Exactly. Yep, you got it.
つまり、これは一人の男をめぐって女二人が起こした闘争。
Basically, yeah. In simple terms.
白鳥をぶん殴るためにシャコ師匠にパンチの打ち方を教わっていたからだ。なんだって？教えて。モモがずっといじけてたのは白鳥に嫉妬してたからだ。その回のことはあんまり言いたくないの。だからそっとしておいてくれると嬉しいな。我ながら自分の好感度の高さにやっぱり日頃の努力がこういう時に役に立つのね。このままこの件は消滅させてもらうわ。綾瀬モモなんでしょ。
But if you don't shut anything down or give anything, they're just gonna create rumors and run with them. Are you okay with them getting her? Or do you want to be the one in charge of that?
あいつ男と見りゃ誰とでもやるらしいぜ。
その噂知ってる。ちょっと前に流れてたよね。あいつ懲らしめた方が良くない？
Don't you feel a little bad about what's happening?
そのデマ流したの私。
Huh. A lot more straightforward than I thought.
だから綾瀬ももう悪く言わないで。
I get it. She's blackmailing you. I get it. You have to say nice things about her and clear it up.
何？どういうこと？
I know would never be okay with that.
何やってんだか赤女。相変わらずどうかしてんな。
Nothing's changed. All right, handling it well.
どうせ言ってないんでしょ、悪口。言ったわよ。もうクソみそ言ったわ。なんか文句ある？へい。
このまま帰るわけにはいか
What
な
the
い。
fuck? You just can't let it finish? Okay.
こいつまだおいでになるの？
I thought we were done. I like how she's able to just transfer now at will, like she's got it down. What the fuck is happening? Did they take him in? Why?
これが宇宙人。
ああ、なんかぽくねえな。これカッパじゃねえの？
いや、嘘でしょ。目の前に宇宙人いんのに信じないってどう？
If you've denied it your whole life, it's gonna be kind of hard just to believe it.
やめとけよ。こっちにはばあちゃんいんだからな。
And they gave you food.
あ、それ宇宙人が何食うとかわかんないから、とりあえずカレー作った。別に食わなくてもいいけど。
卒業してくれてこんなに優しくされたのは初めてで。
It's a beautiful sight.
もう二度とあなたたちを傷つけたらしないで。
So you're on our team now? Or do we have to do something where we kind of get rid of him and... How are you grabbing that? Wow.
息子が病気なんです。体内の血液が尿や便で出てしまって毎日新しく血を取り込まないと死んでしまうで。
That's why he's a part-time worker. That's why he couldn't let his wages go down.
フィリフィスフィーネ
何ごめん聞き取れない。
皆さんが言うところの貨幣です。たくさんの貨幣が必要なんで、私のような落ちぶれ者のウルペースには仕事がありません。アウトローで危険な仕事しかないんで。
But for his family, he does it all. What a beautiful story.
私が弱いために妻を死なせ、
Aww.
あなたたちを傷つけ、息子に辛い思いをさせています。情けない。
どうすればあなたを救えますか
You're the only one who's really buying into this.
息子さん救えますかはあ、何言っちゃってんの、やめとけって。要はこの人がお金を受け取れればいいんですよ。その後に一物は取り返しに行けば。
Do you want to be down more parts? I don't know. Whoever he has to sell it to?
治療ならさ、一回こっきりの金もらったって意味なくない？大変だけど、こいつがまっとうに稼いで払っていくしかない。
That is true. You're only temporarily solving
仕
it.
事がないんですよ。どうやって稼ぐんですか？
We gotta find him a job.
って聞いちゃったんだから、聞かなかったことにはできないですよ。力になりたいんです。
待てや。おめえの血よ。くせえんだよ。
ちょっとなんてこと言うんですか。宇宙人差別だ、ポリコレ。
黙れクソが。何がポリコレだクソが。おめえの白い体液、それ血だよな。その血のついた包帯から懐かしい匂いがするぜ。
です。
Huh.
ちょっとそれ舐めてみろ。
これは同じです。私たちの血と同じです。
何？ばあちゃんど
So stupid. No, that solves our problem without having to on some big mission.
そもそも牛乳は牛の血だが、まさかカッパの血が牛乳だったとはよ。
マチコ、じゃあ牛乳たくさん持っていきなよ。オーバーデーモンの血は牛乳。
でも少し薄いです。
人間が飲みやすいように均質化してんだ。知り合いの酪農家に頼んで牛とおめえにくれている。
Yeah, we'll just constantly let you use
せ
this.
いぜい頑張れや。体に気をつけてな。
Congrats, brother. I'm so happy for you. You'll live forever. Your son will be good. You no longer has to fight. Okay. A classic, a classic. You think she's gonna believe that aliens exist now or no? No. Yeah, okay.
カッパだっつうの。
オカルどうよこのババア。カッパは宇宙人だって。
Yeah, we've already been through this.
今回てめえらの制服買えばいいんだ。クソボケこら。
Probably a lot more throughout those.
第一に着させていただきます。
私たちまでいいの？
うちらには金がねえ。こういう時は大人の財力を利用するのが一番だって。
ちなみにこれ3回目です。
アイラとメガネ、てめえらのは買ってやる。
ちょっと。
If anything, she should be the only one you're buying it for.
ねえ、大人の財力を利用しようって目がよ。わしが
Should have been a little quieter.
阿部寛のモノマネしろ。
かわいい。
全然違えよ、ムカつくぜ。おい、モモ、お前出ろ。モノマネやり続けろよ。
ロケットエンジンパル。
綾瀬さん。
ロケットエンジンパル。
Literal embarrassment forcing her to do this.
ロケットエンジンパル。
It's gonna be somebody that she doesn't want her to see like this.
ロケットエンジンパル。
Oh,
モモ。
ジジ
GG.
よう来たか。おめえの母親からは聞いてるぜ。
お、何？なんでいんの？どちら様ですか？
あいつはな、
Ah.
今日の幼馴染で。
Oh, yeah, okay. We have 2 fighting for you, well, we'll throw in another dude.
初恋相手だ。
Let's steer things up real quick. All right. Okay, so that's the wrap up on the arc. I assumed we were good, and we might have like a couple different moments about the things that occurred in it to start the episode, which we did. But I think they had some conclusion and some things they wanted to do to properly set up what is to come and to really finish some things off. I don't understand the fact that, well, I do understand it, but I just can't believe the fact that like 70% of this episode was setting up a cow being abducted and milk joke. There was kind of I just I don't get it. I don't get why, but it works as always. There's some little character stuff that goes on, but for the most part it's nothing too crazy, so just skim through the episode here. Dominatrix nurse makes absolutely no sense, but you know, it would, if anything, would just make me want to go to the nurse more often and complain or get injured or something happen. You know, like this guy's here for one reason only, because he absolutely loves this. You know, there's no getting around that. He's probably lying completely. And then the cycle hits a really hard here, where you kind of have to face the reality now that you're in a really shitty situation and people are well aware about everything that just literally occurred right in front of their eyes. And how do you handle that, right? How do you cover up for those? Are you able to convince them? Do you put the blame all onto one other person? Because you can't convince them and tell them aliens and all this other stuff. Nobody's going to believe that, you know? So, like, where do you go from here? And Ira's situation, you could blame Momo and easily get out of it and be completely, almost remain unchanged. And people would probably even feel more bad for you due to your current status and everything already. If you were to kind of come out and utilize that as your example. But if you don't, and you don't put all the blame directly on Momo, where do you go from there? You know, do you make up some story and just choose and hope that they kind of buy it? Do you have something else up your sleeve? Like, what exactly do you do? And I think at a certain point, Momo just kind of comes to that agreement of like, I'll take on the blame because like, I don't really have too much of a status. And also I don't care what other people end up saying about me anyways. So we're chill. And it could be a similar callback essentially to, what Ken ended up saying, was it last episode, where it was like one of those, I don't care about like how I'm seen or what other people think about me or something, but it's more so like I only really care about you. So it's a similar thing where we get here, where if, as long as the person that she probably only cares about, would being him, actually sees her like in the light of like who she is and knows exactly what happened, it doesn't really matter what all the outside noise kind of is saying and doing, which is pretty cool. And then we get a whole bunch of like info dump about a whole bunch of shit that's going on. I don't know if I'm, you know, going to buy all this and it's just him being like his overly obsessed version of himself. But I guess some of it could hold some solid foundation if we really want to go down that route. But nobody's really paying attention or caring. They have no clue really what's going on either. Coordinate the plan a little bit more. Let's take her out of here because you can't be around these people anymore. And now it's your time to clarify some things. Give her some proper answers here. And that's not even the most embarrassing or worst part. The worst part, of course, comes down to exactly what we assumed it would have been, where he's more so afraid to just tell exactly how he feels, what he was doing and why he was doing that. Well, it is understandable, and I think most people have those examples of things that they have done and the things that they stay hidden until they're at a point where they're kind of like proud enough or happy enough to show that off to somebody else. It does come off really embarrassing when you finally do admit that, and people are like, you tried so hard to cover this up. Like, it's not that crazy. But him wanting to look cool for her gets her going a little bit. So some sweet little moment here that it's about to turn into something, and of course it gets broken up. And I love her friends coming in here and instantly just like making up a story as things are going and trying to coordinate something to put the blame onto everybody. The love triangle emerges. Yeah, you're kind of right, which we then can break up in some sort of way as time passes at the end of the episode here by introduction of another character. I love Ira going from like gloating about how her popularity and everything is the thing that's going to save her here and that she's in a really good spot, until she starts hearing rumors and all these other things that she directly ended up spreading. And I love the step to be able to own up to it and be like, yeah, I set that shit up. I'm the one who said all this. I'm the one who did all this stuff. So don't really make note of that, right? It's the first sign of a potential respect or a friendship that is kind of coming from her own end in the way that she sees Momo, and realizes like, yeah, that's kind of shitty, because if people were to just make up excuses and things like that of me, I wouldn't like that. And also, now you've been through such like a traumatic experience essentially with this other person, it kind of lets you bond with them a lot, and it lets you really care for them on a different level that you may have not been able to before, through her own accusations and all these other things that she's kind of spread out up to this point. So I think it works pretty nice. And there's also could be like really bad though. Like my mind immediately goes towards like everybody who might like follow her on some sort of level of just like belief in Iroh as a person, just like kind of being a follower, I guess, of her, might just take like her storming off and her standing up for somebody that she was adamantly against and setting up rumors for and doing all this other stuff as like a form of what I was saying, blackmail, but could just be like Momo is using something or holding this against her in some sort of way and setting her up to like be put in all these embarrassing situations and all these things. And now they might like view it from some sort of mindset of like, oh shit, like this could be, you know, she could still be the bad person, and we just don't want to believe that this person that we like blindly have like kind of followed and loved up to this point is actually somebody other than who she actually really is, or something else is kind of going on, and it's we're going to try and read between the lines. Now, being side characters and other people who don't really have much of like an active role within this, I find that hard to believe, but you could always write something that way, which then would allow for something on the side of like the friendship between Iroh and Momo gets to be grown closer together, and Iroh gets to keep like her kind of status, and nobody really like bats an eye or thinks of her slightly different like in any sort of way. So there's a couple different ways I guess that could go, but I doubt that they probably go that route, and instead are just utilizing it as some sort of like big boast that we can end up getting that sets up this whole conversation and awareness from Momo on her end about what exactly Iroh's doing. And look who ends up deciding to show up. I was wondering what the fuck the liquid was, but I guess that makes sense. I love that she's able to transform instant now. It's like an instinctive thing, so she's definitely got it down, even though of course more training and things are definitely necessary. She's got it down. Now let's just set up some really rough backstories that's going on in the life, having to lose his kid potentially over everything that's going on. He's too weak, he's not like all the others. But we set it up so that we can have this whole conversation with him. They feed him. They're nothing but nice to him. And then we learn a lot about, you know, his people and a bunch of other shit that's kind of going on, what he does for his own livelihood, which ultimately sets up the whole milk where, oh, look, this is actually just the blood in the thing and everything that you're kind of looking for. That led you to whatever we're doing, which is hilarious how we're able to set up the cow. We get this. Their spaceship looks fucking insane. Absolutely insane, and I love the launch and takeoff sequence. I think is so well done and super cool. You want to believe that those are aliens now? Nope, they're not. Like, it's one of those like, you can't, if you spend your whole there's two routes for this usually. You spend your whole life building up something in your own mind, right? I don't believe that this is actually a thing, right? Or this can't possibly exist or can't possibly be a thing. And then when you see it, you scatter to like any and everything that you can, and you pull it out to be like, this is actually what it is. Like, you have to make up the most insane excuses for yourself to like believe that the thing that you just witnessed with your own eyes didn't actually occur, because you can't lose that thing that you've spent years on end and all that energy of just kind of like denying, right? Or the other thing you can do is just full on accept it because you've seen it with your own eyes, but then it like breaks you as a person so much because that's like a core thing of you, and then you kind of just get lost and don't know what to do. So Granny takes one or the other, or takes the first route, and she's just gonna kind of deny it at all costs. never really go for it. You know, buy some new uniforms for you, but Momo, not so much, and we have to embarrass her. It's embarrassing enough for you to have to do it in front of other people, but they are people you're too like very close with. So does it really hurt? Probably not. You're comfortable around them. You should be okay. This is where it gets weird. Now you have to go meet up with somebody. You have to go talk to them at the door. Okay, well, it could just be a neighbor or somebody random who's not going to really like bat an eye. Oh, by the way, it's this guy who you haven't seen in probably years on end now, who actually happened to be your first love at one point too, and you have to act this out in front of him, who she definitely set all of this up to perfectly occur directly at this time. But I like actually like this. Typically, well, yeah, I do. I like it. The inclusion of others to like just kind of drama sake, like add somebody else within like a triangle itself, or to create one, is usually not great, because they're pretty flat typically. It's like very obvious most of the time, like end game, like where you're headed, where you're going. It's usually the first people that really get introduced and involved within the story, and then you really can't get invested into the new characters and people that get introduced throughout it, so it's not too welcomed or loved. But I think it works really well where you essentially have somebody like Gigi here and Ira, who are clearly not the winners in their own scenarios, who are both involved in your circle, who the other person, as in Momo being cautious of Ira and Ken now having to be cautious of Gigi, is going to be like a fun little dynamic between them that may forcibly push like the agenda a little bit more of what the relationships and the stuff that we're trying to build on that actually is, and I think that could be very fun, and it could be well done. And also just like the general nature of the show, never taking things for the most part too serious and just kind of being jokes all around, that allows for any little setups and things that we do here to actively be kind of funny, as opposed to like us taking it serious and thinking on it to be something that it really shouldn't or isn't, and I think could be really fun one as always. That's going to be it for me. I have one more to go and finally come back up. Hopefully you guys have a good one. If you liked it, I'll like and subscribe to my feel free to check out the channel and comments with the Twitter series. We're back for episode 11 very soon. Have a great one. Peace.